morning, Simon. How are you?
For a while, National Peasants Party has been taken for a joke from the time you saw in Station Mayanja. A few days later, you sacked her. Now, you're in the limelight over a petition where your president performed dismally. Is this an extension of a joke?
You couldn't call it a joke, Simon, because National Peasants Party has stood on principles of democracy and more so internal democracy. When we saw in Madame Stacia Mayanja as our interim president, we prayed that she takes us through for the next 6 months. And NRM took her up. We couldn't entertain such jokes. That is why the National Executive Committee sat. Immediately, we sacked her. That was a broad resolution that any Ugandan couldn't think that the National Peasant Party could do. We went on with our usual programs. That is why we had to have a presidential candidate. And when you manage to front a presidential candidate, the process of an election in Uganda starts immediately when the Electoral Commission releases a roadmap. And that is the problem with Ugandans. They always think that the process of election starts after nomination. So the National Peasants Party decided to front a presidential candidate. Immediately, it instructed the lawyers to start following up, because we know candidate Museveni has always played the same jokes. So it was a surprise to note that yesterday but one, the National Peasants Party, through its candidate, Robert Kasibante, petitioned candidate Yoweri Museveni, Electoral Commission, and the Attorney General, actually refuting the victory of Yoweri Kaguta Museveni because of a numbered non-compliances.
So you're not conceding defeat?
We can't concede defeat. Why do we concede defeat? You can even note that among the parties that refused to even acknowledge receipt of the declaration form at Ruvoa, it is the National Peasant Party and the National Unity Platform.
Okay. Share with us the breadth of your petition. What exactly, what are the grounds upon which you claim that this election was more of a sham and it never passed the test?
Now, when we talk about non-compliances, we have a number of grounds there under that you must also put into consideration. We look at the laws, the electoral laws. Have they been followed? As per our legal counsels, we come to observe that the legal laws were not respected as enshrined under those statutory provisions. When you look at the procedure, because most of the times procedure impropriety has caused a lot of messes in these electoral processes. And this is why National Peasant Party, you see, I have shared the petition as a whole. There are a lot of inconsistencies within the process of this election. You see, we even invoked to request the Electoral Commission to share with us the technology they are going to use with these machines. They, at the end of the day, suspended. Though at the end we realized that some places the machines were used. So these inconsistencies, yet we are using taxpayers' money, and for us we thought using machines is one of the confidences the Ugandans were going to now trust to show that this time around maybe voter rigging would be reduced. You see, ballot stuffing is one of the grounds that we put in. You saw in a number of places, you saw videos, we have evidence where ballot stuffing was realized. You understand?
In one of the, quite a number of opinions have surrounded or been elicited by this petition. Some lawyers would think that this is more of a fishing expedition, that you're simply doing this for relevance and you can't go all the way. You know the weight of running a petition. How prepared are you?
You see, if we have the capacity to prepare a 3,052 page within 2 days as National Peasant Party, you wouldn't think that we are jokers. The problem with Ugandans don't appreciate laws. The law talks about one being aggrieved and is a participant in the election. You remember, history has it that candidate Museveni, who has ruled Uganda for over now 4 decades, participated in such an election and he shammed to be the last. But for him, he chose to go to the bush. For us, we are now soliciting to go to court as our first priority. You understand? And we still trust the courts of law in Uganda.
You seem to be crying more than the bereaved. I mean, you emerged sixth with a paltry 33,000 votes. Now, after your dismal performance, you're crying foul.
And now, for us, we even appreciate that at least we tried to have that. When you observe the tallying and the declaration forms we have at stake as National Peasant Party, we know a number of our votes were not even added. That is why we are saying we are not certified as the National Peasants Party with the results of Byabakama and the declaration of Yoweri Museveni thereonto.
So what is your prayer?
The election being nullified and we go to, we move to another election that has sanity.
Who is with you?
Of course, the nation and the Constitution of Uganda.
What does it take to lodge a presidential petition? Are you aware of the tedious job ahead of you?
Yes. We have, so far, the best lawyers on the planet of Africa. 2, we were a party in the presidential election. That is one of the grounds. You must be a party. 3, we participated in an election. Wherever we have been, the NBS has been with us. Wherever we have campaigned, we have traversed the whole country. We know what we got as National Peasant Party.
What did you get?
We know what we got. You wait to court, you will observe. We know what we got.
Do you imagine that your candidate won?